Who's the most famous person in your contacts?
Jimmy Fallon.
Call him right now.
Hey.
There's no way to verify if this young lady actually had the contact information of Tonight Show's Jimmy Fallon in her phone, but it's conceivable. And it's a show of how powerful the smartphone has made young ladies in the dating market. In fact, it's made them goddesses. And in this goddess market, mere mortals don't really have a chance, especially nerds.
It's easier to be Miles flirting with Gwen when I'm looking at Haley.
When you're looking at her.
Gwen is quite beautiful and amazing and strong and has all of these qualities. Maybe if I had some security and, you know what I'm saying? Okay, she's gonna love me back.
Right.
I'll do this for you.
The Spiderman actor Shameik Moore recently got into some hot water over making quote-unquote advances at women that are engaged to be married. Of course, you can see by his demeanor that he is relatively safe and unassuming.
I was very happy to work with Haley in the booth.
Yeah.
Even before we worked together, like even in the first film, I feel like the chemistry was there, and this is somebody special, and then she just appears right above his bed.
Of course, I won't be the one to tell any guy that you should be coming on to or making overtures at women that are engaged. That goes without saying. But in a world where the young lady who is, I guess, a little bit above average can have access to Jimmy Fallon, really it is a game of, do I have enough clout to get her? And if you do, it's almost as if she doesn't have an engagement ring on her finger.
I'm trying to be smooth, but not too smooth. Imagine Haley, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna watch Paper Moon, just so I can,
So you know?
just so I can, like, be closer to Haley. Easier looking at Haley being Miles trying to get to Gwen, you know what I mean?
Meek and I actually got to be in the room together for quite a few of our scenes, which...
How are you, Haley?
I am relatable.
He's going to apologize, but he's apologizing because he made the fatal mistake that nerds make in today's dating environment.
This is all a misunderstanding. Unfortunately, it's public. You know, it's really the fan fiction, man. It's the commentary. It's that's what's weird, you know. But I mean no harm. I have no ill intent. You know, it's about art for me. You know, the video had the aesthetic of the song. You know, that's it. Wasn't insinuating no relationship. You know, I apologize for the misunderstanding. I do.
Here, you can see he has a heartfelt apology. He was wrong for trying to go after a young lady, or two young ladies actually, or at least allude to it in that he wanted to date them. But he really made the cardinal sin, which is a mere mortal, a troll, insmell, a guy who is not on the level of even worthy of being in the same room with the young lady, had the audacity to think that that young lady would go for him. And in a time where there's atomic rejection, it's easy to forget there was a time when the nerd actually got the girl and she didn't humiliate him. This scene will go down as the most romantic scene in Black cinema for certain, and maybe even in all of television cinema. The idea that a nerdy guy can show up at a wedding of his past crush, and she's about to marry a guy of higher status that makes more money, and she just falls back in love with him. She gives him a chance, is a thing of the past. And if you dare try to make this cardinal sin as a geeky guy in today's environment, you will get punished and berated.
Seeing all these videos that I'm being tagged in with another actor because I'm literally engaged. And that's important to me. And, you know, most of that video, a friend sent it to me and was like, did you know that he put this up? And I was like, no, because that was taken a year ago at a party. And not sure why you would post that now. And so I texted him. We're not close, like I know him just from around. And I texted him, hey, can you take this down? I'm not sure why you would post that. And it's still up. It was just weird. You're a fucking weirdo. I'm sorry, you're a fucking weirdo. And I'm annoyed.
He's since deleted all his social medias, and we don't know if he's ever gonna come back. Honestly, he don't gotta come back. Mutual Wayne brought this up. Shameik Moore is the where's my hug guy that got famous. And I'm seeing a lot of men defend him saying, oh, he just, needs to get off social media. There's too much chatter going on. He's just misunderstood. No, he's a creep that doesn't understand boundaries and the word no.
The mistake we can't make in this situation is having the idea that marriage is a sanctimonious union in Hollywood and that no one would ever cheat on their married spouse. As we've come to understand, if someone has enough clout, if they have enough quote-unquote riz, they can break up a marriage. They can go into a marriage that's already formed and take that person away from the person they're married to, because if you have the stature, if you have the riz, you can take any person that you want. And the mistake that was made was that he thought he had more riz than he actually did, and made the mistake of trying to use nice guy riz, and people let him have it.
How are you going to get curd by two engaged women after you have openly harassed them online and at work? Like, we really gotta do better in regards to rejection for a lot of young men, because we get situations like this when it's not addressed.
Shameik Moore is proof that lame ass are gonna be lame ass no matter how much money they have. It's an entire group of men out there right now that believe in this beat it chick fantasy where the girls that rejected you when you were down start flocking when you have money and all the women are gonna want you. That's not the case. Once women of your status catch a whiff of that loser stench, they are immediately repelled. It's just so sad to watch, really, like such a sad case, because he is Miles Morales. You're Spider-Man, my nigga. No woman wants to touch you when you're Spider-Man and you're rich. There is something seriously wrong with you. Yes, there is. Because Lord knows, you see these girls, you see what their boyfriends be looking like? They be dating anything that crawls up off the street, and they don't want you. Damn. To have not one, but two women that you publicly flirt with, publicly condemning, publicly dodging, like repulsed at the thought of even being like romantically linked with you? Yikes. Sorrows, prayers. That's all I have to say. Prayers to that man. I would say I hope he finds a partner soon, but I really don't. I enjoy watching incel men be publicly ostracized, so I will be tuned in for the rest of the embarrassment that is sure to follow.
This just proves that no matter how much bread you got, if you're lame, you're lame.
For those of us from the 1990s, the love story between Dwayne Wade and Whitley Gilbert represented the idea that was possible for the geeky math guy, the computer geek, the comic book nerd, to get the beautiful chick that was on campus, the beautiful girl. But what we've come to understand, especially for guys that maybe weren't as athletic or didn't have the quote-unquote riz, or quote-unquote lame guys, the guys that are now called insmells, those guys are now not just being turned away when you try to ask the beautiful girl out, but you're getting humiliated on social media. And you can see the long list of people saying you have no right at all to even consider asking this goddess out, even though he's a multi-millionaire. And for guys that are geeks, there's really one thing left for you to do, really. The best option that any geek can take.
Shameik Moore is proof that lame ass are gonna be lame ass no matter how much money they have.
What's most irritating about this story and the criticism that Shameik Moore is getting is not necessarily that he made a ill-advised advance, if you will, at two young ladies who are engaged, but the true mistake that he made was he misjudged his riz. This is a clean-cut guy, the kind of guy that young ladies say aren't in the dating market. There aren't guys who are stand-up that are kind of straight up guys, that guys are lying and they don't play the game of dating in a fair manner. Well, this is a guy who basically put his heart on his sleeve and made his quote unquote move in a kind of lame way, but what's wrong with it? If you want a guy who's a good guy, who's going to be sweet to you, that's what he was doing. But the problem was he wasn't the guy in terms of the riz. And so when I hear young ladies say that there are no decent guys in the dating market, this is a millionaire that is the star of 2 very popular movies, and regular women are calling him lame. And if he's lame, it's basically a call signal to guys that are in the dating market to say, there's no way to win when all the women think they're goddesses and they think all the men are trolls. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.